Since business is a legal entity, that's why it is allowed to grow on its own. Since business is a legal entity, that's why there are provisions in constitution so that nobody is able to cut off or chop off the portions of the business. Even the assets of the business are like body parts to the business. So business own all its body parts, all its assets as a separate owner. Even if the person who started the business wants to sell off the assets of the business, then there are legal provisions with regards to stopping the person from making such dramatic or drastic decisions with regards to business. Because businesses are always about a group. Businesses are always about a group of people who are working for a common goal or objective. And that common goal or objective requires the multiple hands, multiple brains, multiple bodies, along with the machines. So if you take keep separate the human part, even then the machines are the part of the business. That's why no owner is actually allowed to take away the assets of the business without the legal permission given to him or accorded to him. Right? So separate property, business owner are two separate legal entities. That's why all the properties owned by the business are of the business only. Right? So all the capital assets contributed by the shareholders are not their private and they are only the joint owners. And since they are the joint owners, that's why they individually cannot take the decision. Company, as per the law, as according to the constitution, is a real person who is able to, who is authorized to hold all its property. Now, the next part with us is to discuss or identify or understand how many types of companies are there. So, can any kid help me in terms of understanding how many types of companies are there? Because two most common type you already know. That's why I just want a starting point from your side that how many types of companies you can know. मेरी एक बच्चे ने लिखा कि मेरी आवाज नहीं आ रही है. Is it true for everybody? One kid has told me that my voice is not coming across. Is it true for everybody or the kid only
Yes, sir.
it is coming?
Yes, sir.
So let me I see the kid. Right? Companies are can be divided into five categories, and I just need an insight or help from all of you. Please tell me how many types of companies you get to know. And two, the most common type you already know. Acha, Oil India,
Limited, sir.
what is the full name of Oil India?
Limited companies, sir.
Okay, fine. So one type should be limited companies.
Yes, sir.
Second,
Maybe unlimited.
okay, unlimited is an interesting type. We are because when limited itself, there are three types of companies under the heading of limited, right? So limited by guarantee, limited by ownership, and unlimited company. This part we have to study separately. We are gonna do it even today. But as limitation, limited by guarantee or limited by ownership is one type. Any other type. And unlimited again is gonna come under that portion only. So limitation we already have understood, right? I just need another type of company. Acha, is there any difference between this gun factory and Oil India? There's a gun factory in Kanpur. It's a city in UP. UP is one state in our country. So there is a gun factory, right? And we have Oil India in Assam. So is there any difference between gun factory and or any company in fact which is actually making arms and ammunition in India? Because there are multiple companies which are making arms, which are making revolvers, pistols, and those guns also, tanks also. So there are certain number of companies because government of India itself on its own cannot produce gun बनाना government of India की बस की बात नहीं है. So they already have established a company for that, which is known as gun factory. ठीक, so multiple types of guns are manufactured over there. So ऐसे हम लोग तोप वगैरह बनाते हैं. We actually have created those submarines also. We have created those warships also. So how and there are certain number of companies which are actually making those warships, submarines, guns. And then we have Oil India, BHEL, Heidel, है ना ये सारी भी companies हैं. So what is the difference between these two types of companies? Private company, one kid has told correctly. Yes, private company is one, but that is separation by ownership status, right? So we are going to understand the private company also, but private company simply means that there are limited number of owners, or it could be a case that only one owner is there. So whenever we start selling the shares, then only the status of the company changes from private to public. है ना? So private company is there, public companies are there, and other types of companies are there. I was just trying to understand with the help of you guys what is the difference between the company which is making guns in India and the company which is extracting oil in Oil India is extracting oil. Oil India is processing oil also partially, right? And there are companies which are making guns and arms and ammunition in India. So is there any difference between these two type of companies? Not for profit beta, that again is understandable that companies are there, organizations are there which actually are not making profit. But right now we are not discussing that type specifically. So not for profit organizations are only an organization which again are required to have certain structure within themselves. Not for profit organizations only are not earning the profit. They are claiming that they are running on a break-even basis. Break-even is when cost is equal to all the revenues earned, all the profits earned. तो 100 रुपया लगाया 100 रुपये वापस निकाल लिया the company is not going to earn the profit. These companies are basically for social welfare. So we have multiple cooperative societies in India which basically are claiming that they are running on not-for-profit basis. But they are again required to have certain type of structure, certain type of organizational structure. And we are discussing right now the organizational structure. Objective of the company to earn profit or not to earn profit is not our agenda right now. We only want to understand the type of organization, right? Profit earning हम लोग बाद में बात करेंगे. One kid has told me that gun factories are not allowed to sell their products to other except government of India. Okay, fine. Then, so if there is only one buyer, so why are we bothered about their time? How people are employed in those gun factories? And that point actually is a good point to discuss with the class, because if companies are not allowed to choose their customers, which again basically is the basic convention of the Companies Act, that companies are a legal entity. Legal entity simply means they are allowed to grow. In order to grow, they are required to attract more customers. If the number of customers are not open to them, if they are not allowed to have any and every customer who is willing to purchase their product, then that company should have a separate type of organization structure. That part I need to understand. Your point is good, your point is correct. The gun factories are not allowed to choose their customer. Since they are not allowed to choose their customer, they have only one customer or some foreign country buyers. So only governments can purchase from the gun factory, not you and me. That part is absolutely correct. So number of buyers, number of customers to the gun factories are very, very limited in number. But still, I am unable to understand the type. Let me show you what textbooks are trying to tell us. Incorporated, liability, number of members, control, and एक बच्चा बाहर भी है, दिक्कत है यार, चलो ठीक है, ownership, right? And now we need to understand all the three or four or five types of companies which are there. I again would need your help to understand how these companies are separated. I'm going to show you what textbooks are claiming. Is my slide visible to you now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So let's talk about on the basis of incorporation. And this is what textbooks are telling us. Statutory and registered. I just need to understand what are these statutory companies and what are these registered companies. Registered companies is common, all of us know. And statutory companies, I need to understand with your help. What is it in the company's type which makes it a statutory company? How we are able to add the word statutory in front of a company? What do we mean by this word statutory? And what textbooks are claiming is written over here because this could be new information to you. That's why I'm showing how textbooks are explaining the word statutory company. Just you need to translate this thing into something more understandable to me. What is statutory company? धीरे धीरे से बच्चे ज्वाइन करते हैं. Please help me.
So they don't run under Companies Act. They have a separate act to run.
Great. The first point is one of the most important points. These companies, which are known as statutory companies, they basically are not governed by the statutes of the Companies Act 1956, right? They have a separate act created by the government of India for the functioning of those companies. These companies, since the separate act is created, that's why no law passed proposed under Companies Act is applicable on these companies. Correct, absolutely correct. Great point. Registered companies. And all of you, I believe all of the kids have understood this point. If it is a statutory company, then there is a separate act. The companies are gonna govern by the act only. Okay? Registered companies. कोई बताएगा?
So registered companies are those companies which run under Companies Act, whether 1956 or 2003.
तूने 2003 पढ़ा हुआ है?
Yes, sir.
अरे गुड, फिर तो अच्छा है. जब 2003 डिस्कस करेंगे ना तो प्लीज मेरी हेल्प करना. ठीक है?
Okay, sir.
हमारे असल में 2003 कोर्स में है, करना पड़ेगा. Fine. So, though all the companies are required to get registered themselves under the Companies Act 1956, this registration is required only with a view that government should be able to know how many companies are there operating within the land of India, how many companies are utilizing what kind of a raw material or resources from the land of India, how many companies are there which are able to employ people within the India and people from outside India as well. And that is necessary because we know a basic concept which is basically the guiding principle of the financial system. Financial system is the system which takes care of the money flow in the country. And financial system is required to create a transfer process. Transfer process is a process wherein we primarily identify three types of units in the economy: saving surplus unit, saving neutral unit, and saving deficit unit. Saving surplus unit and saving neutral unit is easy to understand. Let's say you were a kid, right? At that time, you were taking, let's say, 50 grams of rice every day, right? When you were 2 or 3 or 5 years old, मैं उस एज की बात कर रहा हूँ. तो क्या आज तुम उतना ही राइस खाते हो जब जब 5 years old थे?
No, sir.
Fine. So as and when your body started growing, your food consumption started growing, right? Same is
Yes,
the
sir.
contention with the companies. Companies are required to grow. And in order to grow, companies are required to purchase more assets, companies are required to purchase more machines, companies are required to create more markets. यही तो होगा ना कंपनी ग्रो करने के लिए. इसके अलावा तो कुछ हो नहीं सकता, या कुछ और होगा? ओके फाइन.
Sir, I have a question.
है बेटा,
एक क्वेश्चन था सर मेरी.
बता.
Registered company, why only Act 1956?
I couldn't understand your question. Can you repeat, please?
Yes, sir. रजिस्टर्ड कंपनी जो है सर वो सिर्फ ओनली 1956 एक्ट के अंदर है सर, क्यों है? वो मेरा क्वेश्चन था.
Because we have not replaced the act yet. Because in order to replace an act, the country is required to create a new constitution. Because that new constitution has not been created yet, that's why all the companies are required to get registered themselves under the Companies Act. 2003 only has incorporated the pollution laws. That's why 2003 is secondary, but primary act is Companies Act 1956, because it has not yet been replaced by government. The population, the market, the companies have not demanded new set of laws. The set of laws proposed under Companies Act 1956 are still applicable and still usable. ये तो आसान था बेटा, है ना? क्योंकि हम इतना, जैसे अगर तूने अपना कोई
यस सर.
शू रिप्लेस किया है, तो क्यों किया होगा? बिकॉज वो खराब हो गया होगा, तभी तो शू रिप्लेस करेगी.
No, sir.
is applicable to the act. हमारा ये act अभी तक useful है. That's why we are getting registered under it. The day we as population will start feeling that Companies Act 1956 is useless totally to us, we will try to replace it, and then we are going to get registered ourselves in the new Companies Act. लेकिन अभी तक ये act useful है. Or we have brought in certain provisions
Yes, sir.
regarding pollution and certain other things under 2003, but it is surrogate to 1956 only. पहले every company is required to get registered itself under 1956, then they are required to look into the provisions of 2003. ठीक है?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Okay, sir.
एक सेकंड, 2 minutes. Now the type of company which is segregated on the basis of its liability, right? And it is, though at first glance looks easy to understand, limited by shares and limited by guarantee. So let's understand limited by shares. What is a share? Can any kid help me in terms of understanding what is a share to a company?
Sir, there are two types of shares:
Okay,
equity and preference share.
good.
Equity shareholders has voting rights and other rights to take decision,
Yes.
and preference shareholders don't have voting rights.
अरे seriously beta, I just need to tell you that you need to revisit the preference shareholders provisions. Preference shareholders do have a voting right.
But when it comes to their, so what is it?
Yes, the assets purchased by the money provided by the preference shares. If any decision is going to be taken with regards to those assets only, then preference shareholders have a voting right. Otherwise, they don't
Yes,
have
sir.
voting right with regards to general operations of the company. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
तो अगर तेरे को पता है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. Anyway, फिर भी अभी तक this type of shares is not the part of our discussion right now. I just need to understand what is a share to a company. Preference share is correct. Equity share is correct. All the common normal general shares are called as equity shares. All the equity shareholders are called as the real owners of the company. All the equity shareholders, they are required to take decision commonly, jointly, right? In order to take decisions, they are required to select directors, and they have a provision or permission to transfer their shares to the directors of the company. So whenever at any point of time any group of shareholders feels that the director is going to take decisions with regards to their welfare, they are going to transfer their voting rights to that person, or they themselves can go to the company's annual general meeting and can start casting their votes. That is the provision available to them. But still I am not unable to understand, I am not able to understand the definition of equity share or what is the share to a company. मुझे वो बात पता करनी है बेटा. Because we have so many kids who are from different backgrounds, so you might not be from commerce background, so they might not know what is the share to a company. I just need that part. मुझे अगर वो
It's
बताएगा तो अच्छा
company's
लगेगा.
capital or money.
हाँ बेटा.
Company's capital or money raised by.
Okay, fine. Company's capital. I'm talking to all the other kids. Capital is the total base money which is required to start a
Sir, it
company.
is a invisible. Sir, it is the invisible unit of capital
It is
that
invisible
include
need to.
financial asset. Yes.
Yes, that is also correct. Just let me go through for the other kids for a brief introduction. See, I have told you that companies are perpetual companies. They are required to go on for a very long time period. Company's life is always longer than the life of any owner, right? So their money requirements is also considered to be something which is constant, necessary, and required to be there. And it is assumed that no single person at any point of time is going to be able to fulfill all the money requirements by the company. Since owner of the company is one person who actually has created the company, the separate legal entity. But that legal entity needs money. And that money could be in such quantities that one person should not be or might not be able to provide that money. So, with this regard, that companies should be able to get their share, or companies should be able to create their capital or the base money with which the company would start operating. That amount is known as capital, and that capital, the law has allowed that companies can create or invite that capital from multiple number of people. So, let's say I am going to start a company with 100 rupees. So, 100 rupees is my capital, and then I take 9 of you kids from your class as my partner. So one me, 9 you, 10 partners. So and each and every partner is contributing 10 rupees only. So all of you are the partners in 10% share of the company. Plain and simple. See, this part is the definition of shares. If it is clear, then I would go further. Concept of share is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So now, since there are multiple number of owners, every partner is gonna become the owner. I took 9 kids of you from your class to create my company of 10 partners. So all of us are 10% partners. Now let's say I created my company, I conceptualized my company, and now I know that I have only 8 kids or 7 kids available in your class who are gonna pay me 10 rupees to create the company. So 7 of you have paid, one me have paid. Only 2 kids are not ready to join the company or become the owner of the company. That part, the part of shares which is not sold, is known as unsold shares, unsold capital. And the total amount of capital which is not sold is the limitation of the company, which is called as limited by shares. जितना पार्ट नहीं बिका है शेयर्स का उतना ही लिमिटेड होगा. अदरवाइज एट एनी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम इफ कंपनी टेक्स एनी डेट, the total portion of capital which has been sold, total percentage of shares that has been sold, the equivalent amount of liability is going to get transferred to the owners. अगर company if at any point of time runs into any difficulty, so company ने 200 रुपए का loan लिया and then company becomes unable to repay that loan, right? So that 200 rupees is gonna get equally divided between 8 of us, and 20% shares which were not sold, 20 rupees shares which were not sold, which was the limitation or limited by ownership of the company, is the part whose liability remains with the company. मैं कैसे समझाऊं, थोड़ा सा टेक्निकल होता जा रहा है ये. एक मिनट, let me think of an example. Say again 10 of us were supposed to create a company. The capital of the company was 100 rupees. All of us were required to pay 10 rupees, right? 2 kids have not paid. So 20% ownership of the company is remaining with the company. Company is a separate legal entity. Please remember. ठीक? So 20% ownership remains with the company. And 80% ownership belongs to us, me and 7 of your batchmates. This 20% ownership is the limited by shares, limited nature of the company by shares. And at any point of time, if company runs into financial distress or financial difficulty, and company decides that it is gonna close the operations, then company's assets first would be utilized to absolve the company of the liability of 20% of the debt which was there. ठीक? Remaining debt is again gonna get divided among all of us by 10%. That is the nature of limited by shares of a company. If at any point of time company which is not able to sell, let's say 5%, 10% shares of it, the ownership of those shares remains with the company. That's why the ownership of that much of a liability belongs to the company. And that liability is known as limited by shares. Because companies are required to take debt. I will teach you in further courses that debt is considered to be the cheapest source of finance under the sun. Equity is having no, but debt also incurs, brings in the cost part. Because जितनी बार हम लोग debt लेते हैं, हम लोग को उसके अंदर interest देना पड़ता है, ब्याज जिसको कहते हैं, right? That ब्याज is the cost of debt. Equity के साथ कोई cost of debt नहीं आता, क्योंकि equity के साथ it is not a compulsion that company would keep on paying us the money. Companies are supposed to give us the dividend, the profit share of us, but that is not a compulsion on company. See, but for now, let's understand that any portion of shares which is not sold remains with the company, and company is limited by that percentage of shares for all the financial distresses or all the debts. If company is going to get closed down, if company is running, there is no question of closing it down. But if it is unable to run the operations, if it is decided the company is going to close down its operations, then the liabilities are required to be absolved first. It's the constitution. हिंदुस्तान के अंदर या all across globe also, people are not allowed to take or digest the principal amount or interest amount due on debt. हमने अगर 100 रुपए का उधार लिया है, if it is a debt of 100 rupees, then constitution gives legal support to any person who has given us the money to take that 100 rupees back from us. So with that view, if company at any point of time decides to close down, then the portion of debt which company is required to absolve on its own by using its share of assets is the portion which is called as limited by shares. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Limited by guarantee. One more time, I'm going to show you what textbooks are telling us, and then we'll try to understand what actually it means. ठीक है? So please, where the liability of the members of a company is limited to a fixed amount which members undertake to contribute to the assets of a company. In the event of it being wound up, the company is called the company limited by guarantee. These companies are not formed for the purpose of profit but for the promotion of art, science, charity, sports, or some other similar purposes. They may or may not have a share capital. Please tell me, what does it mean? Companies limited by guarantee. Liability of member is limited to a fixed amount which the members undertake to contribute to the assets of a company in the event of its being wound up. The company is called company limited by guarantee. The companies which are limited by guarantee are generally not formed for the purpose of profit earning. So now this not-for-profit organization has come into picture. And not-for-profit organizations, they are created for the promotion of art, science, charity, sports, or other social welfare purposes. So what does it mean? And since it's an organization, so it might take the loan as well to run. Since it's an organization, that's why it is required to run, since it's a not-for-profit organization, but it is required to recover its cost. So these types of companies are basically required to run on break-even basis. Break-even is the point wherein total profit earned is equal to the total cost incurred. Sales revenue earned is equal to the cost incurred. So if you remember the operating cycle which I taught you in the beginning, operating cycle, we start with the cash, then we convert that cash into raw material, that raw material into goods in process to finished goods to bills receivable again back to cash. So starting of cash and ending of the cash should be equal. If we start the operating cycle with 100 rupees, then we would never add any portion of profit in any portion of the process parts. हम लोग प्रॉफिट इसके अंदर कहीं ऐड करेंगे. Otherwise, as it happens that finished goods before being sent to the market, they are marked with their minimum retail price, and that retail price should always be above and over the total cost incurred. जितनी कॉस्ट उस फिनिश गुड को बनाने में लगी है उससे ऊपर ही एमआरपी होती है. इसके अंदर गवर्नमेंट टैक्सेस भी आते हैं, बट एमआरपी बेसिकली कवर्स द इंटायर कॉस्ट. Taxes itself is a cost to us, to the company, right? Because it is a compulsion to pay the taxes, that's why it's a cost to us. And companies are expected to cover all the taxes and all the cost. But if it is a not-for-profit organization, then profit is zero. That simply means we started with our operating cycle with 100 rupees, then we are going to end our operating cycle at 100 rupees. Our finished goods sold in the market is going to bring us the cash which is equal to the initial amount of money. And there are multiple things in it also we can discuss, because time value of money has to be there. हम लोग सब जानते हैं कि if we keep our bank with if we keep our money with the bank, then banks are supposed to give a certain amount of interest. That amount of interest is known as risk-free rate of return, and that risk-free rate of return is basically required to be earned by all the companies, because that actually covers the price of cost of inflation. हम लोग जानते हैं if 20 years ago or 15 years ago we were purchasing a packet of milk, then its cost was way too lesser. आज उसकी दाम बहुत ज्यादा है. Our parents have told us the story how cheap were the things. They were able to bring or purchase the week's vegetable with 100 rupees. जितना वेजिटेबल एक पूरे वीक में खाया जाएगा वो लोग 100 रुपए में खरीद सकते थे. बट आज 100 रुपए लेके हम लोग वेजिटेबल खरीदने जाए तो हो सकता है हमको 2 किलो अनियन भी ना मिल पाए, या 2 kg हमको टमाटो भी ना मिल पाए. So this increase of prices, constant increase of prices, is known as inflation, and that inflation again up to certain limits is necessary and required by the economy. So inflation has to be there. अगर inflation नहीं होगा, then economy is going to become a dead economy. Inflation is necessary to be there. Certain price increase is necessary to be there every year. ठीक? So inflation की we have three portions: healthy inflation, creeping inflation, and hyperinflation. Healthy inflation is one thing which is required. Creeping inflation is something which is lesser rate of inflation, in which the prices of the company are not going at the rate expected from the country. That simply means country and company both are going under a financial distress time. People are not purchasing the item which the companies are creating. So companies are unable to recover their costs. If companies are unable to recover their cost, they are gonna stop producing. If they want to stop producing, then people are gonna get unemployed, and that unemployment would again lead to certain more issues. So certain amount of inflation is very very necessary, which is known as healthy inflation. And if it goes above the limits of healthy inflation, then it becomes hyperinflation, which again is bad, because hyperinflation actually increases the price of goods at such a faster rate that people are unable to justify the rise prices. That rise of price, any kid can help me. How do we justify a basic minimum increase in prices every year, or how do we decide that price of an item is appropriate or not? Let's say I want to sell this marker to your batch at 1 lakh rupees. Would you purchase?
No, sir.
No,
Why?
sir.
क्यों नहीं खरीदोगे? ऐसा क्या है इस मार्कर में खराब? See?
Because, sir, you are charging.
हाँ बेटा, वही मैं बहुत ज्यादा चार्ज कर रहा हूँ. But who told you that this is excessive price? How have you judged that this is excessive price? This judgment is important for us to understand how and why inflation is necessary. When you judged that this 1 lakh price is too much for this marker, how this judgment came?
By materials, sir.
Okay, fine. So plastic is cheap, ink is cheap, and paint of the drawing on this marker is cheap. So you already have identified the cost part. But we all know, like a normal cold drink bottle, वो जो 600 ml का आता है, which we purchase usually purchase at 40 rupees, वो उसकी कंपनी कॉस्ट कितनी होगी मालूम है किसी को? अंदाजा, take a wild guess. The 600 ml cold drink bottle that we purchase at 40 rupees, the cost to the company of producing that bottle, how much is it? क्योंकि उसमें भी
0.75
बॉटल हम लोग यूज नहीं करते. पानी very cheap, color again is very cheap, should be very cheap, and sugar again we know it is not that much costly. 40 रुपए में बहुत सारी शुगर खरीद लेगा हम लोग. 40 रुपए में बहुत सारा पानी भी खरीद लेगा हम लोग.
Not
It is
even
not
1
there.
rupees also.
हाँ, please tell me.
Not even 1 rupees also.
मेरा आवाज बहुत धीरे आ रही है. माइक के पास लाएगा, माइक को माउथ के पास लेके आएगा थोड़ा सा. बहुत हल्की आवाज आ रही है. And I would repeat my question. This marker, 1 lakh rupees, you kids are not willing to purchase. You are telling me that the price is too much. You are telling me that the cost to create this marker is not that much. So I have come up with another example of cold drinks. 600 ml water, 40 rupees price, with some color and flavor and some carbon dioxide. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इतनी महंगी नहीं है, पानी भी इतना महंगा नहीं है. वो कलर, क्योंकि फ्रैक्शन ऑफ कलर पड़ता है उसके अंदर, बहुत सारा डाल ही नहीं सकते, अदरवाइज वी ऑल आर बिकम सिक अगर ज्यादा कलर डाल दिया तो, है ना. सो एक फ्रैक्शन ऑफ कलर पड़ता है, फ्रैक्शन ऑफ टेस्ट पड़ता है, थोड़ी सी शुगर पड़ती है. कंपनीज आर रिक्वायर्ड टू राइट देयर कैलोरी काउंट आल्सो. हर बॉटल के ऊपर लिखा होता है कि ये इतनी कैलोरी देगा. वो जितना कैलोरी काउंट लिखा होता है, दैट काउंट इज ऑलवेज कवर्ड विद 1 spoonful of sugar. So, एक spoonful of sugar would never cost us 40 rupees. At least in current times. आज से 20 साल 100 साल बाद क्या होगा नहीं पता. But current times, 1 spoonful of sugar is not going to cost us 40 rupees. 600 ml water, 1 लीटर पूरा भी नहीं है. 600 ml water again would never cost us 40 rupees. Plastic bottle is discardable, throwable. We are not using it for further purposes. अच्छा, मेरा क्लास भी खत्म होने
Sir,
वाला
some
है.
other costs are also included.
Sir,
Sir, some other costs are also included. Sir, labeling cost, government taxes.
ओके फाइन, टैक्स तो इसमें भी है, लेबलिंग इसमें भी है, प्लास्टिक इसमें भी है. The same amount of plastic that is being used in this marker is gonna be able to create the bottle also. And इसका जो ink है, that is expensive than the total amount of flavor and sugar placed in that cold drink. So I just need to understand why and how you can decide that this is expensive and cold drink bottle is usable, is drinkable, is appropriately priced. ऐसा कैसे हो गया?
So it all around
So no.
comes brand names or reputation.
अरे बेटा हम लोग ब्रांड पे so if I wanna sell you any marker by writing Lamborghini or Ferrari on it, you would pay me 1 lakh rupees.
No, sir.
No, sir.
सर आप खुद ही आंसर बता दीजिए ना सर.
Beta, we all always try to identify the
Sir,
total utility of the product. The utility identified by you of this product, see, the cold drink serves a different purpose. And that purpose could be thirst, that purpose could be style, since there is style involved. That's why we are willing to pay the cost of one kit as I probably told you, branding. We actually are willing to pay the price of branding for the cold drink more. And the cost of cold drink bottle 600 ml is not more than 73 पैसा. ठीक है, वो 73 पैसा का उसके अंदर पानी पड़ा होता है, 1 रुपए की बोतल मान लो, उसका हम 40 रुपए देता है. ठीक. So we try to identify the utility of the product, and based upon the utility of the product, we are willing to pay the amount for the item. And this companies are required to create the products which are having some utilities in the minds of consumers. And those products, once they are sold, then the country is required to identify who are the buyers who have the saving surplus money. And for that matter, I was trying to tell you the saving neutral units first. So जो हम लोग बचपन में खाते थे, जितना खाते थे उससे आज ज्यादा खाते हैं. Every company is required to grow as per their own pace. But in order to grow, companies are required to purchase the assets. Because company के पास grow करने के लिए और कुछ नहीं होता. Company मोटा नहीं हो सकता है. Company only can purchase more assets. That purchase of assets would allow the company to install more machines, and that those machines would allow the company to create more product, and that more product would allow the companies to create or acquire more market size. Right? So there's a growth required, and inflation part is covered by the bank. Healthy inflation is required, so prices of the products are required to be increased every year. The rate of inflation should be equivalent to the rate of company at which the company is growing. This is second condition. If today a company is worth 100 rupees and inflation rate is 7%, so tomorrow or next year the company should be required to grow up to the size of 107 rupees capital. That growth would come only from the financial system. Financial system is required to create the transfer process in which saving surplus units are there, saving neutral units are there, saving deficit units are there. Saving neutral units are those units which are able to generate that much amount of profit which is required for them to grow. तो अगर जैसे हम लोग अपना खाना आज हमारे घर में हम खुद ही मिलता है, हमारे पेरेंट्स इतना कमाते हैं कि हमको हमारी ग्रोइंग बॉडी के हिसाब से हमको ग्रोथ वाला फूड मिल जाए. ठीक, दैट इज नोन एज सेविंग न्यूट्रल यूनिट, जो अपनी ग्रोथ के लायक अपना पैसा खुद कमा लेती है और अपनी बॉडी पे लगा लेती है. ठीक, एंड कीप्स ऑन ग्रोइंग. This type of a company is known as saving deficit unit or saving neutral unit. Any company which is unable to earn the money required for its own growth is known as saving deficit, and any company which is earning money more than required for its growth